Herbal.
Organized labor has therefore decided to suspend the internal strike action. We are calling all workers to report for work on 10th of October 2024.
Organized labor makes shocking U-turn to suspend Thursday nationwide strike, expected to put more pressure on government to end the Galamsey menace.
By this charade, we are not going to go by this show of incompetence and gross disrespect.
Also coming up, cracks on the labor front deepens as some union groups bent on laying down their tools meet to decide on the way forward.
And later tonight, we speak to UTAG, which says they are not bound by organized labor's decision.
Also tonight, confirmed source of drinking water for about 6 million of Accra's population now polluted.
And later in business, government launches Africa's first green finance taxonomy to boost sustainable investments.
On the international front, Cameroon government insists the president is well despite long absence. We have details of these stories coming up in the next 1 hour. Do stay with us.
And it is the major talking point in the last few hours. Many of you have been sharing your thoughts on what some have described as a shocking U-turn of organized labor. Let's delve into the details now. And organized labor has called off its strike. Labor took the decision after agreeing to the measures rolled out by government to address the Galamsey menace. Secretary General of the Trades Union Congress, Joshua Ansah, was addressing a news conference after the labor meeting.
Organized labor was emphatic that government's initiatives to address the strike is heartwarming. The spokesperson of organized labor, Joshua Ansah, then went ahead to call off the strike.
Collaboration with the organized labor and other stakeholders to fight illegal mining, government has asked organized labor to nominate representatives to be part of the stakeholders committee to fight illegal mining in the country. Organized labor has therefore decided to suspend the internal strike action. We are calling all workers to report for work on 10th of October 2024 and beyond. Organized labor will keenly monitor the implementation of these measures which government has made, and government will hear from us if it fails to do the needful.
Other union leaders backed calls for the strike to be suspended.
We all made submissions, there were responses, and we got to a point where we had to call in the media. So if people still have difficulties, I think they should have expressed it within the meeting before the media came in. So as far as I'm concerned, we reached a point where it was appropriate for the leadership to read out whatever it is that was to be communicated to the media.
The issue of Galamsey is a worry to everybody. However, going on strike is not something that organized labor always want to do. What we want to tell government is that the roadmap that has been agreed at should be implemented to the fullest.
Meanwhile, leadership of UTAG says it will proceed with its strike from tomorrow. According to its General Secretary, Professor Ransford Jampo, the leadership of organized labor is incompetent, describing the whole organized labor meeting as a charade.
I'm in touch with my national president. We are holding our own meeting this evening. And then I'm telling you that we are not going to go by this charade. We are not going to go by this show of incompetence and gross disrespect to other unions for constituting organized labor. Clearly, they came with an agenda. Look, there are so many things that are being said about the leadership of organized labor and the kinds of things that happened here. Okay, first is those bogus charges and allegations. I mean, otherwise, if you want to meet with organized labor, why do you come with a prepared speech? In the meeting, we were not. I mean, I made my first point. Others, a few people spoke, and if you are speaking, then the chairman gets up and says he doesn't want you to talk. And so, if you want to make further suggestions, we didn't finish the meeting, and they called you guys to join the meeting. The 16 public universities have all voted unanimously and overwhelmingly to say that they want to go on an industrial action. And we don't care about what disorganized labor wants to do.
For example, is it fair to describe the leadership of organized labor as being incompetent, to describe them as
given the kinds of things that happen here? Okay, you do not call a meeting and then go with a prepared speech. What was the basis? Means you sat in the comfort of your bedroom with the politician who manipulated you to come and read this to us. I mean, they have people they can manipulate, but not some of us.
Let me now give you measures outlined by government to address the illegal mining menace in the country. On the deployment of additional military personnel, the military forces will be intensified under Operation Halt. These include naval boats on polluted river bodies to stop all mining activities around water bodies. On the suspension of mining in forest reserves, it is enforcing the Environmental Protection Mining in Forest Reserves Regulations 2023, which has been suspended with immediate effect. On prosecution, 4 dedicated courts have been set up to handle illegal mining cases, and more courts will be established in collaboration with the Attorney General and the Chief Justice. On the National Pact on Illegal Mining, government is encouraging all presidential candidates to sign a pact committing to fighting illegal mining as part of their election pledges. And government has requested that organized labor suspend their planned strike tomorrow, which they have, and continue to work together to combat galamsey.
All right, so you heard from Labour, you also heard from the response that they got, on the back of which they decided to suspend their intended strike. Let's try and get further perspectives. Is all of organized labor aligned to this new position being shared by organized labor? Let's engage the UTAG president, the national UTAG president. He will be helping us understand what exactly their perspective is on this. So we are joined by Professor Mamudu Akurugu. Prof, good evening. Thank you for your time.
Good evening, and thank you for having me.
So we heard Professor Ransford Jampo, who is the General Secretary of UTAG. He says that UTAG National will be meeting later this evening to say whether or not you agree with organized labor. But as president, what are your immediate thoughts on the fact that after all the support you gave organized labor in their call, they say that they are no more embarking on the strike?
Okay, just by way of correction, Professor Jampo is the president for University of Ghana branch of UTAG. He is not the General Secretary of UTAG. Just to correct that. Secondly, the University Teachers Association of Ghana, as we are aware, we made our press release before even organized labor came out with their release. And we have been proceeding and working with organized labor because we thought that we're all working on the same thing, or we have, not thought about, we have all been working on the same thing. But the processes by which UTAG operates is a bit different from how many of the unions or organized labor operates. Because for us, the executive cannot declare a strike. And so it is members themselves who decides whether to declare a strike or not. And they do that by voting. And so when it was clear that government did not meet our 30th September deadline, we triggered that constitutional process for members across the campuses to vote on a motion, which was whether UTAG should declare an industrial action against government for not banning mining in forest reserves, water bodies, and farms. Because that was our demand, that there should be an immediate ban on all forms of mining and prospecting for gold and minerals in forest reserves, farms, and then water bodies.
Right.
So our members voted, and as we talk, and as Prof. Jampo mentioned earlier on, we have all the results from the campuses that have voted, and overwhelming majority of the campus or the UTAG members voted that for the motion.
Okay, so, Prof, because of time, if you can quicken your submission for me a bit, we'll be grateful. So my understanding, from what you're saying, is that UTAG national leadership cannot declare a strike unless membership agree that you should go on a strike, which you did. Was that not hinged on organized labor's position? Were you not taking those decisions as UTAG leadership based off on being a member of organized labor?
Not at all. The voting was not as to whether to join organized labor strike or otherwise. It was about our press release and the motion that we voted on. So UTAG by its constitution, once the voting is done, the National Executive Council has to meet to deliberate on it and then take it forward. So, of course, we were already aligned to what organized labor was demanding, and so therefore we kind of just moved together. But that doesn't take away the fact that UTAG as an independent association go by its constitution, and so we're meeting this evening to consider the results and then to take the way forward.
Okay, so what timelines are we looking at? By midnight, maybe we'll hear from you, or by tomorrow morning? That's when the final outcome of your meeting would be.
I'm hoping that we should be able to get the public informed of our final decision before midnight. That's my hope.
Before midnight. All right, finally, before you go, so what's happening on the various university campuses tomorrow? No lectures? Your members are not expected to be on university campuses to work, is that it?
We'll give that direction after the meeting this evening.
Okay.
Whatever the direction will be, whatever the National Executive Council will decide on going forward, we'll communicate that to our members. But for now, I cannot give a definite answer as to what is going to happen.
Right. Professor Akudugu, pleasure talking to you. Thank you for letting us know what UTAG national position is on organized labor's new position, which is the U-turn they've made to organized labor's strike.
Meanwhile, some Ghanaians have been expressing mixed reactions about organized labor's decision to suspend the strike action. George Quainin has been interacting with some individuals in Accra.
Organized labor until today decided to embark on an industrial strike tomorrow, October 10. After a series of engagements with government, they've resolved to call off the strike because they've agreed to time-bound measures rolled out by government in dealing with the menace. We want to engage with the public to know what you make of this decision by organized labor.
I don't think it's a good idea because the government just spoke. It's just worse. They've not acted upon what they said, because government, they said a lot of things that they didn't do. When they come to power, they say they do it, but they don't do it. So if they've said that this is what they are going to do, then because of that they've called off the strike, I don't think.
So you think it's more like political talk?
Exactly. It's something is behind it. Something is behind
something. But what do you mean?
Oh, an influence is behind it, because they can't just call off the strike.
Because if you look at some of the measures that governments have rolled out, you might think some look a bit promising. So maybe that is what, spoke to the conscience of organized labor.
For the fact that they are just worse.
If what the government said or is saying is true, and they believe in what the government said or is saying, I think it's good they've called off the strike. Yeah.
But for some, they think it's a political gimmick.
Because we are in the political season, I think anything that will be uttered by any political person will take it as such, regardless of who is saying it.
Election, also, I'm finding a solution to what is going on now. Definitely, it's going to affect them. So I think it's a good decision. Good decision, I take it. And almost striking because of a no be a promise to be the amount. It's almost more money down. Because from now to December 7th, there's so money down. Any moment to be a moment, say, Abana anya definitely before the elections.
How sure are they that the government is going to stand by their word? Because this is an election year and everybody will say anything to get their way. The big people are involved, so when they get to the big people, things will change because it's killing us.
Talking about measures, some of the measures are government will deploy more military personnel and also ensure that prosecution of these cases are strengthened, and also there'll be no mining in forest reserves.
Fine.
Right, and clearly that is our support for a stop to galamsey in the country. Now let's take you to some specific areas where, even here in the Greater Accra, where many say they've not seen galamsey, we're already starting to feel the impact of the illegal mining activity. So specifically, residents living along the course of the Densu River in the West municipality say they are reeling under the effect of the illegal mining upstream. Stanley Nibleu reports that the residents have stopped relying on the water body for their household chores due to its present state.
The Densu River provides potable water supply to an estimated 6 million people in Accra. The water source for most people is safe, but the picture is different now. Residents living along the course of the Densu River blame the recent constant pollution of the river on illegal mining activities upstream.
I was born in this community, and this wasn't how the Densu looks like. When people were complaining about illegal mining, we thought it would not reach here, but here we are. Our water is polluted.
Last week, an amateur viral video filmed by some residents at Ayikaindo Blow in the West municipality presented a more troubling situation of the Densu River, even though illegal mining activities are carried out hundreds of miles away from the capital.
The galamsey that we were told by politicians that it is not mined in Accra, now the reality has caught up with us, and this is what they've done to our water body.
I have come to the community to obtain first-hand information about the Densu River, also referred to as the Okuja by the indigenes. It had rained heavily the previous night, so the murky state of the river had improved, but the pollution levels are highly visible. Farmers who depend on water from the river to irrigate their crops have not been able to do so over the last fortnight.
If you're quiet, complain because
all the farmers along the Densu River no longer irrigate their farms, because if you irrigate your crops with the water from the river, the crop withers. This is not a characteristic of the Densu River. The current state is as a result of the galamsey.
This is its current state at Ablekumajoma Enclave, where the Densu enters the Weja Dam. The pollution has been rapid. Fishermen say the situation is disturbing.
When they do illegal mining and it rains upstream, it washes everything down here, which affects our catch. When the water was clean, we had substantial catch, but the situation has changed.
Clearly, the health and livelihoods of residents is at risk, and the national call to end galamsey is urgent. Stanley Nibleu, TV3 News, Ayikaindo Blow, Accra.
Let's now go to the Ashanti region, where the continuous pollution of the once potable Manan River has compelled residents of Mankranso to now rely heavily on groundwater. Residents complain water from the tap is often unwholesome and does not even flow regularly. Ibrahim Abubakar was in the area to assess the current state of the river and its impact on residents.
A major farming community has now become one of the hubs of illegal mining in the Ashanti region. Most of the farmlands in Mankranso have paved way for the mining of gold.
Food has become expensive in this area because production has declined drastically due to the galamsey.
The Manan River, which was serving the purposes of farm irrigation, drinking and other domestic activities, has in recent times suffered heavy pollution from illegal mining. Concerned residents want an action to be taken now to end the illegal menace.
We all want the galamsey to stop. Okay, we all want the galamsey to stop. So if the government will help us on that for the galamsey to stop so that we get the clean river as we had earlier, it will be good for us.
Now, no, any 3 days, we free a fumo buy. Me share pipe na ye bunwa. It's only na change. Aye, it's a team.
3 days ago, upon my return from farm, I opened the tap and the water coming from it was just like the Manan River. We plead with the traditional authorities as custodians of the land to be firm in dealing with illegal mining. The distraction is getting scarier and we should not politicize this fight.
Omunya say NDC MPP dabi o mani yie ene nyina yepe ye daache
nse de galafona say nse ne nyina.
Galamsey has destroyed all our water bodies, but not for the intervention of some Muslim group who provided borehole in this area. We will be struggling to get potable water. If you don't carry water along to the farm, you won't get any to drink. Just some few years back, even if your coin dropped in the Manan River, you can see it and pick it up. There were different species of fish in the river, but not anymore due to the pollution.
Whilst most of the residents rely on groundwater and rainwater, those who can afford buy water from vendors on daily basis. The residents are only hoping that the renewed fight against galamsey will improve the state of their water bodies, since its destruction affects lives and livelihoods. The residents are expecting authorities to do everything possible to clamp down on illegal miners so their water will return to its clean state. Ibrahim Abubakar, TV3 News, Mankranso, Ashanti region.
The Conference of Major Superiors of Religious Congregations Ghana of the Catholic Church has called on President Akufo-Addo to declare a state of emergency in view of the destruction caused by illegal small-scale mining. Throwing its weight behind the environmental prayer walk slated for Friday, the conference says after writing 9 letters to the presidency with no response, it is forced to publicly come out and take the route of a peaceful walk.
Clearly, this menace of the destroying of our water bodies, land and atmosphere is not only perpetrated by illegal mining, known as galamsey, but also by some legal mining companies. The Catholic Archdiocese of Accra and the Conference of Major Superiors of the Religious Congregations in Ghana recognize their moral obligation to protect God's creation and promote integral human development, not only in words, but also in action. In light of the above, the Catholic Archdiocese of Accra and the Conference of Major Superiors of the Religious in Ghana are calling on all Catholics, Christians, and all well-meaning Ghanaians to join the environmental prayer walk against galamsey.
Away from illegal mining, teachers of the colleges of education say they may be forced to strike again after their suspended action a month ago, lasting over 2 months. According to CETAG, their demands have still not been met. But President of the National Conference of Principals of Colleges of Education, Professor Samuel Atintono, says the strike will not be needed as most concerns have been addressed. A report by Evelyn Tinma.
Remember, members of CETAG went on strike for more than 2 months. The strike was later suspended, but by then, the academic calendar had been disrupted. Teacher trainees were expected to have written their exams and vacated last month, September. But as we speak, the trainees are now writing their end-of-semester exams and expected to finish on Friday, October 11 for vacation. But how did the school authorities restructure the calendar to make up the lost time? Professor Samuel Atintono is a principal of the Accra College of Education and president of PRINCOF.
Students who have gone on break if we were to follow the normal calendar by 7 September. But because of that, we readjusted it. Other 6 weeks, I extended the teaching period and they are writing exams now. Today is the third day across all the 46 colleges of education. I would wish to use this opportunity to thank CETAG members itself. Of course, they went on strike for certain things from government, to also thank the intervention of the Vice President Office.
But a member of the CETAG communication team, Fidelis Kamayi, says their demands are yet to be met.
We were given 26th August as the day for the payment of the all-year-round work done. As we speak, that money has not been paid. And it's not as though that amount of money is very huge. A small peanut. Initially, they gave us warrant that money was going to be paid. When we went to get gift mix, we realized that it was a hoax.
He said they may be forced to strike again.
It looks like the strike is the way to go. But we are not happy whenever we embark on the strike. But sometimes when we are pushed to the wall, we have no option than to do that. We have issued a strike notice to National Labour Commission and our various key stakeholders, the ministry, the UTAG, and all other people that matter. So any moment, I don't know when the strike will be declared.
President of the National Conference of Principals of Colleges of Education, Professor Samuel Atintonu, says there will be no need to strike.
The major thing was the migration issue, and as I speak to you, all the 46 principals for the colleges of education got the data. That was sometime last week, and we returned it by last week Friday. So if they say their demands haven't been met, it is one item, that's the all year round, which government we actually got released from Ministry of Finance. But when we got it, it turns out that the line item for that funding was not there, so we couldn't get money to validate or process for payment. So we have had to report back to UTAG and Ministry of Finance. Again, by last week, they have brought in new releases, which we are trying to process on the given season. So that's one of the challenging one, but I think it is almost resolved. So with that one, I don't think there's any issue that warrant a strike.
He assured the teachers every matter will be resolved by end of October. Some students say their teachers had to rush them through the syllables for the academic term.
Considering the initial academic calendar, we had enough time to go through the semester, but due to the strike, the semester has been kind of squeezed. 6 weeks was just added to the semester to complete the academic work, which has to take about 13 to 14 weeks.
The time they came back from the strike and the time we have to write exam was very close, in that they rushed through things, being it presentations, assignments, and then going through the course outline.
Some of the tutors were trying to catch up with the things that we need to do before the semester comes to an end. But as I speak, most of the courses we've been able to finish them. But we are trying our best to ensure that we'll be able to write the exams successfully.
One can only hope that, as promised by the Prinkoff president, the teachers' concerns would be addressed to avert another strike. Evelyn Tinkma, TV3 News, Accra.
A warm welcome to you to your election command center. Let's delve into some political stories now. The NDC vice presidential candidate, Professor Jane Nana Opoku-Agyeman, has accused the NPP government of retarding the country's growth and must be voted out in December. She was addressing traders at the Koforidua Central Market on her last day of campaign in the Eastern region.
This is not about who voted for us or who didn't. It's about bringing change to the government. Traders are also looking for a change. All we're saying, join us because we are here for everyone. When we build schools and hospitals, everyone benefits. So why didn't the NPP build some of these projects?
nipa kakra bi enti enoma ye na so bia so omane ya ka kire wo noma bebre mu dodo anka se no sesemre enoma pri ya bro so enya atende o sa atende na amwaye kwan ba kokra so enkoda no so hwe na ye kasa anye fair.
It is not about insults but policies.
Still watching News 360 on TV3. Stay with us. When we return, we have the latest in the world of business for you.
One bucket of Flamingo paint is equal to several buckets of any other paint brand on the market. Flamingo paint, superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage. Flamingo paint, simply superior. You know, one bucket of Flamingo paint is equal to several buckets of any other paint brand on the market. Flamingo paint, superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage. Flamingo paint, simply superior.
I love President Charcoal. Why? When there are so many other charcoal toothpaste. That's both charcoal and lemon. Oh, does it? Yes. Look right here.
Yes. Pepsodent Charcoal has two of nature's powerful whitening ingredients. With the power of activated charcoal and lemon essence, it removes stains and whitens teeth naturally.
Convinced?
Well, I am. Just look at your beautiful Pepsodent smells. For naturally whiter teeth, Pepsodent Charcoal. Pepsodent.
Esi, Messi and me the 200 Ghana could jasu sister. Buy you in 5 cedis. And then 40 Ghana. Hey, take one container your 40 to 50 pesos. And not 20 Ghana. And then a dancing or long can do 30 Ghana. Adai, on my bay money away.
Oh, so Casa, me show Dean. Sha, Dokura me the 20 Ghana. Ah, me pay for me 15 Ghana cedi a day. Omo be na ewomi ya koya na ate yesan bai
hwe enye duane bo nko an ne kosoro John Dramani Mahama time Smith one bag ne ye 24 Ghana cedis me nko to Smith one bag a yesi eye 108 cedis ayon ross ye beton ne sen it is say wo si dan a sen e na wo be say John Dramani Mahama ba ma giye ya ye be wo
ya nya bibia fa ho okom be kuyen yo
okom ne de enkuyen e be fa ye ho adwen pa na MPP aban wadi ehwamo ankasa
medie menim wo haw na medie mehwe masetirem na mato ababa
ene sa na tie de a eye akufu ade ne ba wo mi a nyame ya dom ne se December 7 dura ye be tuo masese de YouTube
ye be tu ankasa
hwe wasetne moto abapa e de sakraya papa beba wa brabo mu to abama John Mahama ne NDC.
After this fufu and pepper soup, I go score goals like them the dash points.
Kivo 100% natural hot pepper. Good for your jollof, stew, soup, shito, spaghetti, and noodles. Kivo hot pepper. Moko show.
I'm a match winner, but the real champion is Kivo 100% natural hot pepper. Champion taste.
This advert is FDA approved.
Whenever you fly to space or take your first step as baby, Soft Care always stays with you.
New Soft Care Space Series is rooted from space technology. Keeps you dry and comfortable for 12 hours long. Offers you the most effective protection during your space journey.
Soft Care. Protect your leap.
The business segment is brought to you by MTN.
West Hills Ridge Property, Eden Heights.
Hello there, good evening and welcome to the business segment here on News 360. I am Michael Obodu. Now, the Ministry of Finance has launched the first phase 1 of the Ghana Green Finance Taxonomy. This makes Ghana the first African country to undertake such a significant move towards addressing pressing issues such as climate change, food security and poverty. The Green Finance Taxonomy serves as a crucial framework for directing investments from both public and private sectors towards low-carbon projects.
Taxonomy is a vital framework aimed at guiding both public and private sector investments into projects that promote low-carbon growth and support the nation's climate action commitments. It is a vital step towards unlocking green growth financing and securing a sustainable future by providing a clear classification system for green investments, enhanced transparency, and increased investor confidence. Deputy Finance Minister Alex Ampabin believes the framework will provide certainty for investors.
This provides a framework on the direction of investment that the country seeks to engage in. So to the investor out there, there's clarity and certainty on which area that Ghana as a country wishes to pursue. But also for the financial institutions, I think this is an opportunity for them to launch new products into the Ghanaian economy.
UN Resident Coordinator Charles Abani is optimistic the framework will help bridge Ghana's green financing gap.
By 2030, the green economy is projected to create 24 million new jobs globally, many of which will benefit African countries, including Ghana. And sustainable financing is particularly critical given that 42% of the population depends on agriculture, which is increasingly vulnerable to the impacts of climate.
Now, the director of the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research, ISE, Professor Peter Quartey, is advocating for Ghana to refine its crude oil locally to shield consumers from global market fluctuations. His call comes at a time when global crude oil prices have surged by almost 10% due to rising tensions between Israel and Palestine, causing concerns about potential hikes in local petroleum prices. In September, Brent crude prices dipped below $70 per ton, but have since spiked to around $78 per ton.
As a country, we also have to think. We produce oil in this country. We don't process a lot of the oil. If we are to process and consume or use part of the oil we produce, I believe we can cushion ourselves when there are such shocks on the global market. We can also stockpile some of the oil, so we don't always have to face some of these global conditions. Then also, people are also diversifying. We shouldn't always depend on petrol, diesel. There are other fuels that are being used. Some are using electricity to power their vehicles. Some are using solar to power, just something we should be exploring, because you cannot continue to rely on these kinds of energy.
Minister of State at the Energy Ministry, Herbert Krapper, has unveiled government's planned venture into ultra-deep water to enhance Ghana's oil production levels. This involves extracting crude from reservoirs located in extremely deep ocean waters. At the 7th Local Content Conference and Exhibition, Mr. Krapper noted that the need for advanced technology and substantial capital investment to support the country's ambitions. The minister also highlighted ongoing efforts to attract more investors to the sector.
Content Conference and Exhibition, organized annually by the Petroleum Commission of Ghana, seeks to promote local content and participation in the upstream petroleum industry. Energy Minister Herbert Krapper stated some measures being undertaken to make investments in Ghana more attractive.
Our plan is to continually evolve our fiscal terms to be more progressive for investment. But I should assure you also that we are not giving away our oil resources on a silver platter in the name of investment attraction, nor under the high pressures of energy transition.
CEO of the Petroleum Commission, Egbert Fable Jr., who touched on the theme, attracting exploration and production investment to boost local content, new pathways, disclosed that Ghana's oil exploration and production space has recently taken a downward trend in new investments, production volumes, and general activity levels, despite the initial growth and the string of successes. He was of the view that if Ghana is unable to attract and retain exploration and production investment into its upstream sector, local content will stagnate.
In analyzing what has led to the status quo, the conclusions arrived at are not of rocket science learnings. What the Petroleum Commission will not dabble in is satisfying as we step up efforts to attract the needed investments. The Ministry of Energy and the Petroleum Commission are committed to and doing all that is possible to attract new investments into Ghana's E&P space.
The conference attracted participants from players in the industry from Namibia, Uganda, Nigeria, Ghana, among others. Irama Smith, TV3 News, Takrady.
Lifeline for Childhood Cancer, an initiative of the Pediatric Oncology Unit of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, has received a check for 100,000 Ghana cedis to support childhood cancer treatment efforts. Glyco Healthcare made the presentation as part of its commitment to enhance access to quality healthcare in Ghana.
The goal of the Child Health and Development Unit is to end preventable child deaths and promote the healthy growth and development of all children. To contribute to the improvement in the health of all children at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, Glyco Healthcare has presented 100,000 Ghana cedis to Lifeline for Childhood Cancer, a platform introduced by the Pediatric Oncology Unit of the hospital to support childhood cancer treatment and patient care.
Corporate organizations such as Glyco, who we're very, very grateful for their support today. One of our big projects is building a new pediatric oncology center for the children with cancer. Currently, we have a 24-bed ward, which is highly inadequate to treat the number of children that we have. So the new block will certainly advance cancer care. It will change the conversation around childhood cancer. The impacts are expected to be a lot higher.
As part of the 20th anniversary celebrations of Glyco Healthcare, the contribution was made to help make healthcare more accessible while supporting children with childhood cancers.
Doing this is an eye-opener, and we are bringing it to everybody that cancer doesn't know a child, cancer doesn't know an elderly person, it doesn't know this from that. It affects anybody.
Glyco Healthcare, a member of Glyco Group, has been a leading provider of private healthcare insurance in Ghana for the past 20 years. Offering affordable and accessible healthcare solutions, the company serves individuals, families and businesses with a range of comprehensive healthcare plans.
That'll be all for the business segment here on News 360. I am Michael Obodu. Up next is sports.
So, I got this app. It's called Ayoba. It's a chat app that helps me with beauty tips and cooking tips. A super app that feeds me music and the latest sports content. I even use it for my studies. And the good news is, I don't need to use my data bundle because I'm on MTN. Chale, the app just did be.
Ayoba, the all-in-one app that lets you chat, call, read, play, pay, and listen. Use Ayoba at no data cost on MTN. Download Ayoba now.
All be lie.
Thank you, boss. See you next week. Yo, where is my passport? Where is my passport? Yo, man, I want to Waba.
What is that?
And then
Give me my passport.
Man, relax.
Relax. You made me pay for express for 24 hours, and yet it's not in.
You told me that you are telling me this.
What's going on? Hello.
This man here has taken my money. That within 24 hours, he'll do my passport for me.
Oh,
see, that's
the same thing applies to me. He told me last night. He's telling me this week.
Process. That's what they do.
Yeah. Oh, madam. Please relax. I'll get for you in 24 hours.
Hey, Goroma. So you never change? Eh? You get passport for someone within 24 hours, Madam Obwa. See, the normal working hours is 9 to 5. Eh? Now 24 hours, I'm fat. You guys have made a very big mistake by trusting these people. Now, through digitalization, passport application has been made so easy. Now, you don't need to stress yourself and join any long queue for your passport. All you have to do is to log on to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs website and begin your application. By buying a passport application voucher online. Simple and easy. And very soon, all you need to get your passport will be your Ghana card. What is it true? Yeah, Obisa. It is possible.
Essuroho, vote number 1 on the ballot.
Sanlam and Allianz is now Sanlam Allianz, Africa's largest insurer.
Miss
VIP.
Magnetic Perfumes.
Hello, good evening and welcome to the sports segment here on News 360 with me, Oreku Ampofo. All 25 Black Stars players trained at the Accra Sports Stadium ahead of Ghana's big game against Sudan on Thursday in the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers. But a lot has happened in the last few weeks, putting Ghana's chances of qualification for the AFCON at risk. My colleague Bilishen puts it all together in a preview ahead of the game.
It is arguably the two most important games for Ghana this year. Their qualification hopes to AFCON 2025 is hanging by a thread. And the doubleheader against Kwesi Appiah might well be the decider for the Black Stars. They've started poorly in the AFCON 2025 qualification, earning just 1 point from a possible 6. And because of that, the GFA president, Kurt Okreku, has been weighing down heavily on the players.
You know that in the last break, you know it. No passion, no aggression, no desire, no extreme willingness to wear the strip of Ghana. This has to change.
Since the start of 2024, the Black Stars have conceded 16 goals from 10 matches, and 8 of those goals have come after the 80th minute, bringing into question their commitment and also their concentration during the game.
It's not only the captain, but players who come to the national team, they have to be committed. I'm not saying that. They have to be committed because you have 30-something million population. They have selected 23 and you are part of it. It's an honor.
As the players gathered for the game against Sudan, the GFA president, Kurt Okreku, has demanded for more commitment.
The time for jokes, the time not to be fully concentrated is gone. In our palace, we say the honeymoon period is gone. It's time to show aggression. It's time to show desire. It's time to show the willingness to go the extra mile for Ghana.
Kurt Okreku's rant has sent shockwaves all around social media, with fans questioning whether this was appropriate at this time.
What I do know is that the Black Stars players need to be reminded in the clearest terms possible that the nation is tired of the turbid performances and that performances need to improve and improve very quickly. We heard Stephen Appiah say the same when he appeared before the parliamentary committee. He spoke of a team without desire, without passion, without energy, that played without commitment, and that lacked leadership.
The expectation for Ghanaian fans is that the players will respond and respond well. Bilishen for 3 Sports from the Accra Sports Stadium.
Let's do some more here because early on Wednesday, a viral video surfaced on the internet, and it's one that you've just seen excerpts of. That's the president of the Ghana Football Association, Kurt Okreku, giving the Black Stars players a dressing down following their poor performances in recent weeks. Now, head coach Otuado, who watched it all at the Black Stars camp, was asked about it, and this was his response.
It was recorded, but, you know, in this job, pressure is one of the principles, you know. It's not a new situation for me. So it was the same when, let's say, I came here the first time and we played against Nigeria. So The president had a talk because it was a crucial situation if we could qualify for the World Cup or not. The same thing happened when we played before Mali, you know. So sometimes it's good, and I understand the situation is very, very crucial. So sometimes it's also good if somebody comes and steps up to back up my words. You know? I'm also talking to the players. My staff is talking to the players, the importance of the game, and so we always try to push each other. And I think it was a good talk, and hopefully it woke everyone up to show the passion which is needed on the field to win this game.
Now let's do some tail of the tape ahead of the game. Talk about the football itself because these two coaches know each other very well. They worked back together in 2014 during the World Cup. Kwesi Appiah was the head coach there, and then Otoado worked as an opposition scout. They face on Thursday, and this is a tail of the tape. Kwesi Appiah, clearly the more experienced one, has coached more games with the Sudan team. 16 matches, 8 wins, he has 4 losses, 20 goals scored, 11 goals against and then 8 clean sheets. Otoado, on the other hand, has played 6 matches and he's won 2, lost 2, 10 goals scored, 10 conceded, yet to keep a clean sheet. Well, before we wrap up, the big news coming in also from the presser is that Coach Otoado has confirmed that Mohamed Kudus would lead Ghana as captain in their crucial 2025 Africa Cup of Nations qualifier against Sudan on Thursday. Kudus made his debut for the national team in 2019 and has gone on to make 36 appearances for the Black Stars. Or you can get more updates on our social media handles at 3SportsGH. My name is Oreku Ampofo, and up next after this break is entertainment with Adjoanuela.
We solve the unemployment crisis in Ghana. Yes, Massa.
By using formula 133.
Can you expatiate?
Say, this simply means 1 job, 3 shifts, 3 people. That is the Mahama 24-hour economy policy. Under this policy, businesses will be given tax incentives, cheaper electricity, financial support, and security support services to encourage them to work 24/7 by adopting 3 work shifts of 8 hours each. This will triple job opportunities in the country. This policy will boost production, increase productivity, and generate well-paying jobs in all participating businesses and public organizations.
Excellent. The 24-hour policy will be a game changer.
Vote for change. Vote for John Mahama and the NDC.
There is a business in every woman. And then she works, juggling all that matters to her in seeming effortlessness. One thing is for sure, there is a business in every woman. Introducing Telecel Women in Business, our initiative to empower women-led and women-owned enterprises. Accelerate your growth with finance and investment initiatives. Extend your reach with a free business website, access to digital and physical marketplace. Be empowered through exclusive networking and thought leadership platforms. Enjoy bonus reward with our Red Loyalty and lots more. To benefit from this initiative, be a female-led business and a Telecel business customer. Visit telecel.com.gh/business to register now.
Telecel. Connecting energies.
Entertainment news segment is brought to you by
Napa Foods, Heaven Black Insecticide Spray and Coil.
Powered by 3 Entertainment.
Well, good evening. Let's do some entertainment news updates here on News360. My name is Noella Donko. Now, fast-rising singer Bino Ayoni has urged persons living with albinism to believe in themselves and confidently pursue their dreams. Now, the 2024 Mentor winner and activist is advocating for inclusiveness and end to discrimination and equal opportunities for marginalized groups. He's been speaking to 3 Entertainment's Usu Warai.
As an albino child, Bino Ayoni grew up accustomed to discrimination.
He felt isolated and lived in fear due to his skin color.
It wasn't very easy living with my condition. You have to be ready to live in a lot of fear, especially for where I come from. Live in fear of being kidnapped, to be used for ritual. There are some opportunities that, you know, normal people have, which you don't have.
Even as he persevered and pursued his passion for music, the stigma continued.
We went in for auditions to be signed, and they had to return me because they say I'm not marketable enough. They say I am not marketable because of the color of my skin, exactly. When I left high school, you have to go out and look for something to be doing to keep yourself going. How hard it was for me to find something to do. You know, you would go to maybe this store to look for a job opportunity, and they are like, because of you people, your vision, nah, we can't take, you know, there are a lot of opportunities that if we had, we would have done better.
That became his source of motivation as he embraced his condition and resolved to work hard to realize his dreams. Fast forward in January 2024, he excelled on the Mentor stage. Winning Mentor presented a huge opportunity to Bino to make his voice heard, amplify the concerns of persons with albinism, and empower them.
Winning the competition was like a big win to all of us. You know, was like a big win to anybody who has lived with pain and the idea of being rejected for who you are.
Unto the name of Judge, cause anytime he ever fall, he raised me. One more time, let me say glory.
The gifted talent, revered for his stage presence and incredible vocal delivery, is using his platform to advocate for inclusiveness and equal opportunities for marginalized groups.
It's one of the reasons why I stay grounded doing what I'm doing. Yeah, don't let anybody tell you you are not enough. You know, always believe in yourself. It would never be easy for you to break the grounds, but be aware that there's been someone there who has done it before, and you can do it too. Be as strong as you can be, even if you're weak.
His song, Champion, strengthens marginalized groups to pursue their dreams and not settle for less.
Yes, I did it. Grinding all day for them liar. Yes, God did it. Till I hit a 1 trillion, banking at that. When I sign any deal if I no cash in at that. Food on me table, not touching at that. Trouble in at that. Can't pick nobody, me laying in at that.
Well, on that note, do stay tuned to TV3 for the details of the new season of TV3 Mentor 13. And that's it for the entertainment news segment here on News 360. My name is Noella Donko.
Thank you so much, Noella. Coming up, international news.
Cameroon's president is in excellent health. Senior officials have insisted after a long public absence stoked a widespread speculation about the 91-year-old leader's condition. President Paul Biya has not been seen in public since 8 September when he attended the China-Africa Forum in Beijing. He has since missed events he was scheduled to be at, such as the United Nations General Assembly in New York. But in a statement, the head of Cameroon's civil cabinet said Biya was well and condemned the mischievous individuals speculating about the president's health and eventual death. The statement came after days of opposition parties and civil society groups calling for information of Biya's health and exact whereabouts. Hurricane Milton is going to be deadly and catastrophic. Officials are warning as millions leave Florida ahead of the storm's arrival. Milton is forecast to be at Category 3 strength when it makes landfall at midnight over southern Sarasota. It is currently parking ferocious winds of 145 mph. U.S. President Joe Biden warned that living was a matter of life and death as the state undertakes its largest evacuation efforts in years.
And that's it for our package this evening. Thank you for watching. I am Martin Asiedu-Date.
And I am Portia Gabodu. Join Alfredo Kanisa at 10 p.m. for Ghana Tonight. Have a great evening.